Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with the host and other viewers in real time. And remember to create a safe viewing experience by following our community double standard. That's right. We can't say what other people say, or we will get kicked off by the religious. What's up, Tarot? You're number one. Dante, Joseph Reed. Oh, you're notifying viewers that we're live. Thank you so much. Texdale, Lane Nelson, shake your slime, whatever. Kevin Rubix, what's up, my bud? For you, Eugene, Sap, Heather Mack, my girl. Z Life guy join. What's up, Z Life? Move on to the back of the bus and remember the rules: no spitting, no loud radios, and no preaching on the train. Shanghai Smith, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for having me. You're all right, Joseph Reed. You are welcome. Yo, Heather. If you preach on the train, you get the whistle, and it hurts your ears, and it probably triggers your software, but you're gonna get kicked off. My great mods are here to kick you off if you pull that shit and preach at me on the train because nobody wants to hear it, especially not tonight. What's on everybody's minds, huh? You got something to talk about? How about the fucking Catholic Church in France, man? Can you believe it? It's stunning. I don't. Nobody's really surprised, but again, the sheer numbers of what happens when people aren't paying attention to their kids is ridiculous. 216,000 victims. That's like a measurable population percentage of children in France, right? I know it was over a lot of years. 3,000 different diddlers involved in this fucking thing, but I got to rant about it for a minute because I am just sick of it. When is a government going to step up and do something about these criminals, these shitbirds, these subhumans? It's not bad enough that they lie to old ladies and take people's money and don't pay taxes and shove it under the mattress and build themselves castles and riches and whatever. You just made a vid dealing with workers of Christ calling out his shit in the manuscripts. Cool, man. Check out Kevin Rubik's vid if you haven't followed him. And I'm sorry I'm not keeping up with people joining him right now, but I'm pissed. I'm coming in hot tonight, folks. And I am on YouTube. If anybody joins me on YouTube, I am here. Put up a question, and I'll talk to you there. It's my YouTube camera. But yeah, when is a friggin' government going to actually do something about this danger to the population? Right, they'll step up against a virus. They'll step up against cults that collect guns, as we've seen in America. They won't. They'll go ahead and they'll breach the separation of church and state to get involved in religion when religion is shown to be a a, a, uh, a danger to the public. All right, and if any religion has been shown to be a fucking danger to the public, it's the Roman Catholic diddler church of pedophile pigs. And I'm trying to keep it on the back burner, a little on a low burn, on a simmer tonight, so I don't get kicked off my live because I'm liable to say something ugly. They need to friggin' shut the church down right now, everywhere. Shut it down until they can pass a test and prove that they get their shit together. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. They're a danger to the public, a danger to the public. And what do? The bishops in France, who are assholes, every last one of them. You're complicit. You're probably diddlers yourselves. You need to go away and fuck the fuck off. What do? They don't apologize. They say, please forgive us. They ask for forgiveness. And this is extra disgusting to me. Because what does it do? What does it do? It puts the onus on the believer. It uses the guilt that they're already racked with against them, because the little old lady is then guilty if she doesn't forgive the Catholic Church for what they've done. Instead of demanding an apology, demanding that the doors be shut and locked and barred and stop going, march with your feet, stop going to church. If you still go to church, you're complicit. If you put money in the plate, you're complicit. If you say to people, oh, it's really bad what some people do, but it's not the whole church, you can't condemn the whole thing, you're complicit. You're one of the molesters if you're one of the assholes that's talking like that. Quit going to church if you're a Catholic. Pray at home like Jesus wanted you to. If you really believe that bullshit, then just keep it to yourself in your friggin' home. Invite your friends over. You can all be stupid together, but quit going to the church. Quit supporting it. If you keep supporting it, you are complicit. It's absolutely fucking disgusting to me, and I don't know how long society is going to put up with it. It's remarkable to see what they can get away with. Burying kids in the backyards of schools, molesting babies until from the time that they save them from abortion to the time that they're old enough to punch back, or never, maybe. It ruins people forever. People commit suicide from it. How long is it going to go on? Honestly, please, somebody fucking tell me. I'm sorry. I'm hot tonight, man. It's awful. Hello, Black Cat Claw. Quantum silence. Jesus said himself, "I am the morning star." All right, yeah, I think Lucifer was probably more useful to humankind than Jesus was. You forget those people aren't real Christians. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you say that shit, you're one of the people who are complicit. You're turning a blind eye to criminal activities on the part of Christians. They're not real Christians. And besides the Protestants that don't think Catholics are Christians at all, forgetting the fact that there wouldn't be any Protestants and there wouldn't be any evangelicals if the Catholic Church hadn't existed by itself for 1,000 fucking years before the Great Schism or whenever the hell that happened. They were the only Catholics, all right, asshole, you undereducated American piece of shit. You don't even know what a Christian is. Catholics were the original fucking Christians. If you're going to be an evangelical, say, yeah, I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian. Catholics are Christians too, and you're all sick. You're all disgusting. You all promote a religion that is such a net negative on society that it's hard for me to even quantify. Absolutely disgusting. You all need to go away. It's ridiculous. Choo choo, acid tongue atheist. I feel like I got acid tongue tonight. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's just how long can this go on? I mean, it's absolutely friggin' disgusting. Um, exactly right. They run into the same disgusting. Sure, of course they do. They're so undereducated that they don't know. And this has been going on since I was a kid. I knew people in the country that were part of the old line Protestant sects who were just the dumb, undereducated American youth from the country, were just country stupid to not understand that Catholics are Christians too. Yes, it's the cult of Mary. Yeah, Jesus is kind of an afterthought compared to the worship of Mary and the various saints in the pantheon of gods that the polytheistic religion that Catholicism really is. Yeah, they're not like all about Jesus the way they should be, but in the end, it is. It's just another cult of believing in a dying and rising sun god that didn't really exist. And if you don't believe that Jesus died for you and your sins, you're not a Catholic, just like all that other shit. So, yeah, people are stupid and they just don't know. But you see the way down in the remnant church and Gwen? No. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. What's up, FF Mountain Laurel? And I'm sorry, there's a ton of people on here. Of course, I didn't see all of your names come by. I'd love to give everybody a toot out. Um, Christy Noam had an affair, by the way, with who? Right? With who? That's the other thing, Clandestine sex goes hand in hand with religion, so there's no surprise. She got a Bible in one hand, a gun in the other, and some other dude besides her husband's shank between her legs. So here you go, Christy Noam. You're a fucking hypocrite and a piece of shit and the worst governor outside of Texas and Florida. Go away. Love the stream. Sending positive and mildly racist energy your way. Thanks, man. Everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Ever see Q Street or Q Avenue? Right? I haven't seen it. Um, smoking a bowl, says Keisha. I wish I was smoking a bowl. I'm not smoking a bowl. I can't really do that anymore. I couldn't go live like this. It would totally mess it up. Toot toot, Laura Williams. Maybe sometime I'll go. Maybe I'll smoke one right on here. Do you think they'd kick me off if I smoke a bowl on TikTok? They can't tell what it is, right? Could be tobacco. But I feel like I don't know. I might lose my train of thought even more than I already do. Atheism is the new religion as crypto is new currency. Okay, delivering beer. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know anything about crypto. Is it really not the new currency? Is that what you're saying? Thanks for the roses, unfake, unknown fake, and thanks for the follow. What do I think of solipsism? Solipsism's stupid because if everybody has that going on, then there's still 7 billion different realities. I mean, um, it's I don't know. It's silly. I don't give much of a thought to that. It's another interesting philosophy that somebody came up with. Hey, man, maybe the only thing that's real is what I see and what I perceive, and everything else is just imaginary. Well, the other guy is thinking the same thing, and he sees the same things you see for the most part. So I don't know. Yeah, Avenue Q. Did he help the? I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not up on it. I should make sure I look at Avenue Q sometime. Um, uh, she had an affair with Trump's ex-advisor. That's delicious, man. He hasn't denied anything, but she has pushed him away. Oh, we can't talk about that anymore. I'm the governor. He's probably like, yeah, yeah, it's good. Remember when. These fucking scumbags, man. Stammerhorn, my guy. What's up? I think the world of you, man. Mr. Atheist, what's up? Howdy, sir. Good to see you. How's Fort Wayne, my friend? A couple of folks here from Fort Wayne in the house. The church will go after a priest who steals money but will protect the child rapist. Again, this is the thing. The bishops deflect, right? They're like, well, will you please forgive us? They don't say we're sorry. They don't offer up the priest to the police. We'll see if anything happens. because we're tired of waiting for the Catholic Church to police itself. It's obviously not going to. It's too interested in saving face, in moving priests around, in protecting its money. It's very godly money that it has piled up in a mountain underneath the Vatican. What's up, folk? My life, with you from Denmark. What's up, love in Denmark? Yeah, we can do a live soon, Mr. Atheist. Are you ready? You got enough followers to do that, man? We can totally go live. Oh, but he was, or on YouTube. If that's what you're talking about. Nobody on YouTube still. No surprise, but maybe somebody will jump on. Ominism thoughts. Idea of spirituality being some evolution to soul, some dogmas lowers levels. I don't know what that means. Ominism, is it spelled right or is it omniism? Don't know. Thanks for joining, everybody. Right? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. You make it possible for me to continue to do this, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, and we do it every Wednesday at 9 and every Sunday at 11:30. Those are Eastern times, New York time, my friend. New York time. Going to be in Boston. Going to be in Boston in November for the FFRF convention. Going to eat some chowder. Maybe have a lobster or two. If you've never been to Boston, you owe it to yourself to go. One of the great cities in the country. A great city to walk around and spend the day. Hello from Montreal. What's up? Squeeze, my guy Squeeze from Montreal. Bonsoir, my friend. Got a new dog yesterday. I think the guy who had her before beat her. She's terrible. Oh, that's too bad. Did you rescue one? That's good. I admire people who rescue dogs, but uh, I never. You know what Salem is? I was there when I was a kid. I want to say on a field trip, and I barely remember it. But that's a cool place to go. You can go visit the Church of Satan headquarters, I believe. Good evening, geeks for lunch. Show your bond collection. um, yeah, you know what? My last bond got broken. I don't even have any. I'd have to go dig some up. But I do. When I was smoking regular, I appreciated a bong. You want to go on vacation sometime soon, Heather? Yeah. You can do that. Especially if you quit school, baby. You can do whatever you want then. Uh-oh, Catholic SC. Uh-oh, what did they say? God bless. Jesus can save you. Can you save the kids in France, though? Thanks for the fucking preaching, idiot. Jesus can do one of two things: continue to rot in the ground or continue to never have existed. That's what Jesus can do today, right? That's all he can do. What you can do is use him as self-help and fix your own ass with your fantasy life, which is fine. But Jesus himself, he can't do shit. He did. Hello from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What's up? You live an hour from Salem? That's cool. Oh, we got a Trumpy on board. Yeah, yeah. Screw Trump. Make some more water into wine, please. Yeah. If Jesus came around, let him do something, make it work at a bar, right? Save him money. Uh, couldn't he save the kids? He could do it if anybody was if any of those people were real, they could do it. They could fix the problems. They could come down and smack the Pope in his face and say, "Quit acting like you're some kind of cool Pope or some kind of like hip Pope or some kind of different Pope." Um, yeah, but they're not. They let the world get away with. They let anybody who well, we got free will. God gave us free will, so people can be bad if they want, and then it's just bullshit. What a bunch of bullshit. Such a justification, right, about why bad things happen to good people and why there's evil present in the world. They can't get their head around it any other way. Do I think Donald Trump is the Antichrist? I think if Christian theology turns out to somehow, by some incredibly small possibility, turns out to be true, then yes, Donald Christ is clearly the anti-Trump. Um, but yeah, I mean everything's right there for you, right? He's disguised as a man of God. He's basically pure evil in a fat suit, with a shitty comb over and a bad orange tan. So it's pretty good. I've said that for a long time. I'm like I say that to Christians that I know. I'm like, did you ever consider that Trump is probably the Antichrist? Thanks, Zed, and thanks for muting these puds, man. Thanks. Probably the same dude. Red wave coming. Red wave coming. I saw a guy like with one of those like awnings up selling Trump shit for 2024 in the corner, man. And I have a hard time not rolling the window down and screaming, "You stupid hicks, man! You guys are country stupid, man! Voting against your own self interest just because you're a bigot or you don't want to get a vaccine or you think that this asshole's going to stand up for what you want." But Allow Antichrist is to be from Europe. Okay. Who knows? Antichrist is a myth. There's no myth. Thanks, the Just Boys, for joining, but you are blocked. Bye. And thanks, Kevin. I didn't see. Is my girl not here tonight? Is Nine Crazy Crazy Cat Lady, or did she jump on when I was ranting? It could be. The Danish dumpling, my girl, my favorite person. She posted an awesome video. If you guys haven't gone and looked at her last couple of videos, she posted an awesome video about people who act like insane people. Basically, if Christians, the way that they go around and act would can be considered insane if it wasn't for the fact that everyone puts it down to a religion that we're all used to. Uh, very good video. Nice installation. Thanks, man. Epitome of the tolerant left here. Can't afford sheetrock. Yeah, it's not my place, Tool. Thanks for being here, Arafaz. We just rent it. And it's just the back of a warehouse, but it's cheap. Uh, Oh my God, look at these deluded fools. I know, right? Sometimes we get that. We get that night when there's just like a whole bunch of right wingers coming on. Like, I'm not a leftist. I really ain't. I'm really not. If you know me, you know that that's just not really where I'm at. I'm not PC. I think that the left does more harm than good to their own cause. I think most of their ideas are on the right track, but they're just, they're these overweening, whiny, bleeding heart, reactionary cancel culture folks. It's like, come on, you're not helping yourselves, man. Get in the middle and do some work and get rid of the friggin' uh right wing wacko nut job bigots that we're forced to live with in America anymore. People who are like promoting a complete lack of fucking education and are okay with it. Hello from Washington D.C. My cat or a dog person. I love cats, but I'm a dog person. I like to have a pet that interacts more. But I'm not down on cats. I think that's a false dichotomy there. I think you can kind of be both. Queen takes bishop. What's that mean? We play at chess. By control, it's hard to blame them, but educating them is a good start. Yeah, I don't know how we do it anymore. It's gotten so bad. We have generations of people who've been completely miseducated in this country. Find the middle ground. That's right. Purple wave. Purple wave, man. What is this? Nobody was when I was a kid, there was no blue and red, It was like, everybody was a centrist and you just tried to work together and be compromised a little bit on fiscal stuff and you didn't have to like toe the party line with every last fucking piece of shit platform plank that they have now. All this every guy is every Republican has to be pro-life and evangelical Christian and a capitalist pig monkey who uh, promotes the policies that keep them poor and keep the 1% in money because they think that's freedom. I just don't get it. It's just stupid. We need new people, new ideas, young people. If the church does get persecuted, it will be because of them. Persecuted, I'd prosecuted, right? They need prosecuted. Persecuted is what I'm here to do. I'm here to persecute the church. I can't prosecute them though. Hello from North Dakota. We got both the Dakotas in the house. What's up in North Dakota? Finally made it to North Dakota. And Fargo was having their Pride when I was there 2 summers ago. I want to say nobody went anywhere last year, right? They were having their Pride Fest when I went through Fargo, and that was fun, man. It was a nice little town. Um, I was happy to visit. Stopped at a nice little restaurant, and even there, during Pride Fest, there was like a group of fucking maniacs out there protesting gay people, like that. So somehow being gay is a threat to these right wing farm fucks. But yeah, another one. We got another one. I am Andrew Ski. Yeah. Don't make me make a Polish joke. Wah, wah. Imagine being a Democrat. Yeah. Imagine being a Republican and having to subscribe to the shit that those people do. I wish that I didn't have to vote Democratic, but right now it's the lesser of two evils. But I'm not a Democrat. Those people are just as fucked up. But not quite. Not quite. Not using religion as a hammer against the rest of us. Thanks for the alley coaster for the liking the train logo. Appreciate it. Uh, you mean you all disagreed without hating each other? That's how it went. Imagine supporting a party that supports socialism. Yeah, socialism is so bad. You want to pay for school? You want to pay for trash pickup because the government doesn't provide it? You want to pay for police protection? You want to pay for? You're an idiot. We already have socialism, man. Get over it. Uh, 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 there's summer in Fargo. Yeah, it's what I don't know, 5 weeks. But yeah, they have a beautiful short summer. Hi from New Hampshire. What's up, Andrea Lindsay? Love you. Thanks for being here. Do you respect any religion, including Islam, Judaism, Zoroaster? Do I respect any religion? I respect individual people and churches. Religion itself is hard to respect. I respect Pastafarianism. I respect Dudism. I respect the Satanic Temple. But most of the larger religions have gone past the point where they just deserve respect just because they're religions. Somebody else hit me with that the other day. Hey, respect all religions. No, that's what gets us in trouble. Respecting all religions just because they're religions. Oh, you got to respect someone's religion. That's bullshit. I don't got to respect shit. If it doesn't earn respect, I don't got to respect it. Well, you're not going to get any respect. That really, buddy. That's why you're one bad comment out of 15,000 on a bit video that's got a quarter of a million hits. I'm not looking for your respect. You know what I mean? So, the bigger the religion, the worse it is. Christianity and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism, even, they need to fucking dial it back because they all spawn fundamentalism. They all spawn hate of the other. And I don't know enough about Jainism to hate on it. So, I judge things as I see them, and I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason not to. But religion has given us all plenty of reason to just not be into it anymore, and we don't need it. We don't need it as a society. You might need it personally, and that's your business. But society could easily get rid of all religions and force people to keep it in their homes. You know what? If you want to pray to your God, you can't gather to do it anymore. Have it in your home. You can't make a big organized religion that's tax free and promotes hate and convinces people to vote in terms and vote for things that end up affecting the rest of us. It's just an embarrassment. It's just an intellectual embarrassment that needs to fucking go away. Thanks for the follow, Louise. 9. All hail Zeus. Respect Olympia. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the hyperhumanity. Thank you, my friend. That was a really good one. We'll have to do that again, man, and I because I had to blast off, and I could have stayed on for another 2 hours probably with that guy. That was good. I learned a lot. He learned some stuff, and I think people had good questions. They got real answers. So yeah, I appreciate my guy hyperhumanity. Goku is my god. Nice. Is that a Pikachu? Is that a Pokemon? I don't know. Can you meow for me? Meow. Why? Eh, eh, eh. Woohoo! Anna breaks for Fraggles. What's up, my girl? Um, yeah, I was ranting on Catholicism already. If anybody's got something else to talk about besides stupid fucking Trump, then bring it up here. If I miss a question, put it in the question box down at the bottom, and it'll stay there. I love chocolate. Milton S. Hershey is my messiah. Yeah, man, I'm actually descended from Christian Hershey, who landed in Philadelphia in 1736. I want to say. Yeah, I don't got any Hershey money. Not a fucking dime of it. You can't even fix my ceiling. You see that. But that must mean I'm leftist because I don't fix the landlord's ceiling for him. Right? This is the brain power that we're dealing with. I got a guy come on the comments and just go and go and go and go and go. Joe Blow somebody, and he was like literally could barely like speak the language, and he wouldn't shut up about stuff that was just so wrong. He was one of those guys that's like Catholics aren't Christians. They're the real Christian. All those people that you talking about aren't real Christian. If you call yourself a Christian and you go to a Christian church and you follow the dogma that the Christian church, you're a Christian. All the other people who think that they're real good Christians, yeah, you can all say that those people aren't Christians, but they're Christians. You know what I mean? And if you're not standing up against them, you're part of the problem. So get the fuck out of my face with that. Can I inform you on Scientology? Yeah. What do you need to know, my friend? It's a cult. It was founded by a guy who was a science fiction writer and washed up in a couple of different careers. Wrote a book called Dianetics that was largely self-help. It didn't sell. He recast it as religion, and he got rich when he sold it as a religion. Based on the idea that human beings have an immortal being inside them, and uh, kind of like reincarnation, where that when your body dies, the phaeton they call it within you goes and finds another one. And yeah, I don't really understand all the details about going clear, but these engrams or egrams, and they try to it's sort of a spin on finding enlightenment. So it takes from other religions and science fiction ideas too, and made up just some bullshit and sold it to people. And I think it got popular because of the actors. I want to say this is my spin on my take on it. At least my impression was when Tom Cruise and John Travolta came out in the 80s and other people. I think that actors, what they had to go through in their lives, constant rejection and auditioning all the time. I think there's something about Dianetics that lends itself to those people gaining something from that technique, really, of self help. And so I think it gained some popularity among actors because I think the parts of it help them deal with their lives as actors, and so it got hip. because of that for a while. But really, here they all, just that those people got treated well and were used as figureheads and showcases, mascots, if you will, for the religion. Meanwhile, people in the religion are getting shunned if they leave it. They're getting built in the pyramid scheme. They're um, being abused behind closed doors. Maybe watch Going Clear by or the documentary, and also Leah Remini's. Is that the same thing? There's two different ones. There's like a documentary, and then there's Leah Remini's series. Yeah, it's whack. My thoughts on consumerism. It makes the world go around, man. What can you do? I'm not a political scientist. Mom does genealogy related to Hershey's. Also, really, that's cool. Did the Muhammad video get pulled? It did get pulled, yeah, and I got banned from going from posting for a couple of days. The ban is off. I was trying to get a video out before I got on live tonight, but I didn't. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do with the the limericks. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm put them on a different account or a different platform altogether or something. But I don't want to jeopardize the larger good that we're able to do with the account keeps growing. And I see so many atheist creators get banned from talking shit, and they get kicked off, and then their account goes away, and they're never able to build back up the followers. And I feel like the work that we're doing is too important. Um, so I don't know. I might, or maybe I just choose more wisely. I don't know. I guess you can't put, but yeah, I don't want to be afraid to put up a Muhammad video. I get taken to task all the time by commenters like, do one on Islam now. I bet you can't make fun of Islam. Why do you only pick on Christianity? You know what? Scroll down my fucking content. I am an equal opportunity ridiculer of religion. All religion, it all deserves to take it up the butt, and so I give it to them. And that for people to say that I'm afraid to talk about Islam, they don't know me very well. Islam needs to go away. It's like Sam Harris says, it's the motherload of bad ideas in society. It's again an intellectual embarrassment. It's no better than other religions, and it's spawned a form of fundamentalism that is completely harmful to the planet. Mom does genealogy related to Hershey's. Also, progressive person from PA. All right. Are you? I'm from the Altoona area, and so our buddy Matt Stitch is also. We talked about that. He does genealogy too, so that's cool. Do I like anime? I do like anime. I don't really see a lot of it, but what I've seen, I liked, and I'm trying to learn more about it. I want to go back and watch Demon Slayer. Is it? The movie was so good, and to me, you didn't really need to see the series. People were like, it was kind of a. So their season two of the series was the movie, and I had never seen a scratch of the series. But I get into the movie right away. You figure out what's going on. It's not a super complicated plot, but I thought it was one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen. It was absolutely fantastic. Family names include Newman, Schilt, Engelbach, and Mauga. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my great grandma was a Hershey, who then married a Jackson. And much of that side of the family is then English there, but I'm Dutch too because of the Hershey's. Uh, 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 Free and equal. Thank you for following, my friend. Radical Dimes, what's up, my bud? How are you? There's one for you. J Ray, it's not so much Christians, kind of, it's more evangelicals. Are you talking to somebody? Sorry. You turned 54? Stammerhorn? All right. Happy birthday, man. 8 days from now. Oh, you're from Reading. All right. Honest criticism after watching your content. I noticed you make many sweeping generalizations. Yeah, well, that's what I do. I'm into comedy. I make lots of sweeping generalizations because they're fucking funny to me. All right. Uh, that's if I don't think I have a reason to do that, then I don't. But anybody who knows me knows that I love people individually. I don't really think that everybody is one way or another. But I think that religion, in general, sucks and needs to go away. So yeah, I'm not going to back off of the generalizations that I make. But thanks for the comment. You watch a trailer for The Man from Earth yet? No, I didn't. I might not have wrote that down. Did you hear the news broke about 216,000? Thanks. If you didn't join in the beginning, you missed my rant. I went off for 5 minutes, foaming at the mouth. I'm so disgusted by the Catholic Church and everybody that puts up with it. There's a generalization. Catholic churches all need to go away. They all suck. They're all bilking people out of money. They're all diddling boys. They're all diddling girls. They're all uh, just crappy. They're all hiding money. Uh, and every Catholic who goes to church supports the molestation scandal. They all support it. If you still go to church and you still keep that church open with your attendance, your money, or your apologies or your excuses, you are complicit. How's that for generalization for you? I speak in sweeping generalizations. Of course I do. I've been pushing that movie for you on months. I know, man. The Man from Earth. Let me put it on the list here. I'm going to open up my TikTok ideas and write it right down. It's called The Man from Earth. The Man from Earth. I finished um there. Now it's on the list. I'll probably remember it. I finished White Lotus on HBO, limited series, 6 episodes. Thought that was pretty good. Evil, false, yes, yes. Sticky Bud Hound. What's up, Sticky Bud Hound? Who doesn't love Sticky Buds? I'll generalize about that. Sticky Buds are all good. Catholic Church hiding money when most parishes are struggling to stay open in my area. Good, good. That's the best fucking news I've heard, man. Most parishes are struggling to stay open in my area. Good. The shredded taco says that's the best news I've heard all day, man. Fuck them. REM, losing my religion should be a background song in a video of yours. Yeah, and it's not really about losing religion, is it? But I love that song. I'm an REM guy. I came up through original alternative and new wave music. REM was one of those first bands that kind of evolved into what we'd call alternative, in my mind. And one of the greatest American bands there's ever been. Yeah, they do need to close down. Thank you. And I know I get that they're dying. They're putting ads on TV to try to get people to come back because they're crapping out. But they're not in any danger of going broke altogether, just losing parishes, and then they consolidate. And where they're in a town like this, there's a Catholic church in every goddamn corner, and so one of them might go down, and then the other one gains some followers and some parishioners because they've got to consolidate. But there's no end in sight. It's too bad if you send your kids to Catholic school, you're liable to get a better education than if you send them to the public school. It's too bad that I have to say this, but all of it needs to go. All of it. Somebody was like, Catholics have 15,000 hospitals, 40,000 old folks homes, 30,000 orphanages, and atheists have none of that shit. First of all, it's bullshit. If you don't think there's any secular hospitals, secular uh, of the old folks homes is secular, or you're an idiot. And second of all, they do it for the fucking money. They don't do it for altruism. They don't do it for charity. They do it to get fucking rich. And let's talk about the abuse that goes on in those places, man. The elder abuse that goes on at old folks homes. I don't care if it's Catholic, Protestant, secular. I don't care. Those places are ripe with underpaid employees who end up abusing old folks. So to talk about the good that Catholic Church does because it owns hospitals, it's so they can keep getting fucking rich owning hospitals, being part of big medicine, man. Idiots. Anybody who excuses the Catholic Church needs a slap in the fucking head. Another generalization for you. Yeah, you're right. Secular is an atheist, but I mean, there's no or atheists aren't organized in that way to go up. Oh, let's get together and open a hospital. That's not how it works. But it's stupid to talk like that. The Catholic Church has got 15,000 orphanages. Yeah, with fucking cemeteries in the backyard full of dead kids that didn't take care of. I'm from Utah. And Mormonism needs to die out too. Here's one for that. Mormonism can go away. Thanks for the follow. K height the world. K height the K A H height the world. I don't know what that is, man. Kahe it the world. Sorry. I never want to put my parents in a home. Yeah, hopefully you don't have to. I mean, I don't think other cultures don't have to deal with that because they take care of their old folks, right? They don't like get rich and then pay for them to stay in a home so that they don't have to visit them ever. It's horrible. We should take care of our elderly at home to the point where we possibly can anymore, because that obviously does happen. But yeah, for the most part, it's shameful. It's shameful how we neglect the people who raised us in this country. Uh, 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 True. Speaking of beings that believe they're God, I ended up getting another cat. What's up, the Mad Hatter? He got another cat. What's the name of that cat, Matt? You never wanted to hear me say another negative thing about Catholics again, and that they love deep. I missed the part of that protector system. My guy. Good to see you, man. I missed the first part of your comment. I'm sorry. Thanks for the follow, Tammy Becca. Militant atheist gonna be militant. That's right, man. That's right. We are tired of it. We are tired of religion, my friend. If we have to generalize and make fun, then we will. I know she made a lot of sweeping generation, yeah, not generalization. Don't watch. Oh, I recently lost contact with a family member who I thought was healthy. He was saying, I'm scrolling back through here to look at some of these comments. Atheists don't spread their gospel. No atheist ever knocks on doors. There's no gospel. Is the other thing, man. It's like people keep coming at me with that too. One guy's like, after he watched the when I fired Christianity, I fired Christianity in that video. One commenter finally yesterday was like, okay, now do one on atheism, all snarky. I'm like, all right, well, when you send me atheists' holy book that the people follow to use as a unifying dogma, that leads them to these atrocities, then I'll do atheism. But until then, yeah, of course, some atheists are bad people and some atheists do crimes and shit. That's not the point. Religion exists to exacerbate people's worst natures in a lot of ways. I think that's the issue. People are like, hey, is it gonna? You think all those atrocities are gonna go away if religion goes away? I'm like, no, just a whole shitload of them, not all of them. The thing is that good people don't need religion, but bad people are made worse by religion a lot of times. That's the problem. If you're actually good in your heart, in your soul, and you're a good person, you don't need religion to be good. None of us do. But if you're a bad person and you're trying to get good by going to religion, or you're whatever you are, you're indoctrinated, so you go to church, so that the church ends up exacerbating the problem. You can use anything in the church to make you a worse person. Why do you think the evangelicals are such shitty bigots and so anti-homosexual and anti-LGBT? Because their church excuses that behavior and actually reinforces it. So if you're the kind of crappy person who hates on homosexuals anyway, your church makes it worse. It justifies those actions for you, makes you feel self-righteous for doing it. Do you like to play the skin flute as often as I can? Why does somebody always ask me that every week? Of course, don't you? I just scrolled here from Bob Larson trying to exercise Loki. Really? Uh, yeah. Thank you, Mama Jane. I don't need a religion to tell me right from wrong. Nobody does. I mean, if you do, then you got worse problems than being a religion. Mama Jane, 1123, love you. Thanks for all the presents. Thanks, Confused Pan, for the presents. I don't recognize that name. Is your first time here? Love you. If you can stomach it, read the Lewis books on her DID trainings. Who Lewis? What Lewis? I don't know. I'm 6'2". I know Aikido and Wing Chun and ready to rock. What's up, man? I like the WBC, probably the worst one. I missed something. I don't know what you guys are really talking about. What's up, Boricua? Boricua yo, Boricua yo. Placebo was real and can be beneficial or harmful. Yeah, I'm not sure what that refers to, but yeah, you're right, of course. Boricua, ¿cómo está, mi amigo? Boricua. I hate people who push their religion on others to feel better about themselves. Isn't that the thing? You know what I mean? Um, it really is. It's all about them feeling better about themselves. I'm from Sweden, and every Swede I know don't believe in God. We believe in science. Yeah, I'm with you. Bonnie love God. And hello to Sweden. We love you from Sweden. Wish I could go right now. Bonnie love good. Mm-mm. I feel like I play devil's advocate too much. Radical dimes. Why? Why not? And I kind of like that. I'm a gadfly. You got to bring up the argument to anything, don't you? That's just kind of how I am. My dad's like, you notice how like people like your Uncle Gary, like everybody who meets the guy likes him, but like me and you is like a lot of people don't like. He's like, it's because we argue. And Gary just nods his head and agrees with anything everybody says. And so people are like, oh, what a nice guy that is. Whereas like me and my dad are the kind of people that'll be like, call bullshit or just for the sake of being an argumentative person will take up a contrary position. And a lot of times it's bullshit. A lot of times it's real. But we're just those kind of people who, you just, I don't know. That drives conversation a lot of times. What's up? Glad I'm on. Thank you. Glad you're here, MJ Ultra. Appreciate you. Westboro. Yeah. How about the Westboro Baptist Church, right? Can we all get together and like just go run those people over when we see them? Mom is a militant atheist, me born again atheist. Cool, man. Multi-generational atheism in the house. Uh, my husband does that. What? Just argues to argue. They don't even know what their own religion teaches. Well, that's the thing, man. People are followers, and I'll probably do a video on it. But a guy commented that we were talking about how children are born atheist. Obviously, the children don't have a God concept when they come out, and people kick back on that a little bit. They're like, oh no, 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 Socrates says, and no, it's human nature to believe in God. And some guy said, well, if atheism is the default position, then why has every religion every culture, virtually every culture on the face of the planet, come up with a god belief and a religion. And it's because people are followers. It's human nature to wonder about the nature of our existence. That's innate in people. As you get older, you lay in bed and you think, wow, what's the universe about? Why are we here? What's our purpose? Where do we come from? Where do we go? That's human nature. And some people are so stupid that they don't even do that. Some people are the kind of people who come up with ideas to answer those questions. And back in the day, before science, when religion was proto science, and the bright people in society gave it some thought and wrote down their ideas and came up with philosophies, a lot of them came up with a God concept. And then those people, being leaders of their society, sold it to the followers. And most people will believe what you say if you just say it with authority. It's the way people are built. That's not me talking. That's psychology. Anybody knows it. Most people are followers. They're more comfortable following a leader than they are trying to be a leader themselves. So that's why we have few leaders in the world and a bunch of fucking sheep ass followers. If you're the kind of leader who made up a God concept and you sold it to the sheeple back in the day, and it formed a religion, and the religion got huge, and then from then on out, the indoctrination takes over, and generation after generation grows up to believe what your sheep grandparents learned from your sheep grandparents, who learned it from the OG guy in caveman times, who was a smarty pants, who made it up, right? And if everybody was if the God concept was innate in people, then there'd be 7 billion religions. There'd be as many religions and as many ideas of God as there are people. But that's not how it is. There's only a few religions compared to the actual population of the planet. And there's 4,000 religions or whatever there is, and every culture has its own. But that's more evidence to me that people aren't born with an innate God concept. They're born with the need to believe in something, and to give order to the chaos in their world. So they'll believe what somebody else came up with, and what somebody else came up with, largely in the day, was a God concept. Not everybody, because you've got Buddhists for one, well, probably the fourth largest religion in the world. I'm just guessing. That's not really theistic. There's not really a God there, but somebody made that up as a philosophy back in the day and sold it to the rest of the people. And the rest of the people are like, oh yeah, I guess so. If he says it like that, it must be true. And then they follow. And then the indoctrination takes over, and generations after generations end up believing. What's up, Ree? I didn't see you on YouTube there, my girl. Thanks for being there, and apologize for not looking that much, but I'm going off here. So yeah, that's the reason that every culture has a religion, because at some point somebody made it up and the rest of the people followed, not because everybody has an innate God belief. I do believe that it's innate in most people to want to ask questions about their existence. That's different than being born with a belief in God. It's stupid to think that that's true. And why aren't there new religions all the time? Because we know now that that shit is silly. That's ancient stories, and all the religions that survived, except for a very few, like Mormonism, right, and the cults that pop up in Scientology, they're all from antiquity. They all were started by people who didn't know how to fucking refrigerate their meat, or build houses that could withstand a hurricane. I don't know. They were made up by ancient people, and they've become ubiquitous because of the indoctrination and the general uh, tendency of people to be followers. So that's why that happens, and it's pretty obvious when you think about it. Thanks for the follow, my friend. Appreciate you all for being here. Judge and Clanny. Progressive is back for the likes. Thank you, my friend, for the likes. Can I define indoctrination? To me, indoctrination is teaching someone something for which there is no evidence and telling them not to question it. That's basically what it is. This is true, and don't ask critical thinking questions. Just believe it. That's indoctrination, right? So you're like, yeah, you're indoctrinating people if you tell them the sky is blue. No, they can see that for themselves. Or you can indoctrinate people to any kind of thing. If you indoctrinate people to math or science, or no, if it's stuff that is demonstrably evidentially true, then that's not indoctrination. That's teaching, right? But if you're asking someone to believe something, or telling somebody to believe something for which you have no evidence, which they would never think of on their own, and telling them not to question it, and just reinforcing that dogma, that belief in them without backing it up with proof, it's indoctrination, and hiding truths from them, not letting them go to places where they might hear another idea. To me, that's indoctrination. Science is the new pagan religion, trendy and lame in equal measures. What's that mean? Science is not a religion. Science is the opposite of religion. Science changes if evidence comes. Um, people who back up on against science as a reaction to religion. Well, it's no wonder. We are about finding the truth about things through the following of evidence and through the analyzation of data and through experimentation and falsification and repeatability and everything that goes into science. Or there's people who think that like science is a religion too. Uh, you're people who want people who aren't religious to be on the level of religious people. Well, there's a religion too. Atheism is a religion too. It just makes you more comfortable to think that we're all as stupid as religious people. I bet there are studies on the beliefs of children raised atheist. Um, you can look it up. I don't really know what that means. Murdering people that have a different thought than them. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Science is hard data. Science has clearly become a religion. Yeah, you're not clear on what's a religion, what religion is. Um, which science are we talking about? First of all, that's silly. That's like saying I don't know. I don't even know. It's hard to quantify how dumb that kind of thinking is. I'm glad we have laws now that keep the religious nuts from killing us for having free thoughts. Yeah, because if you didn't live in America, at least that got going. We got that going on, and it doesn't stop us from being discriminated against. We're just not getting thrown off a roof, or shanked in the street, or getting dragged out and stoned, or beaten up like we might in Pakistan or Bangladesh, or places where this kind of thing happens with Taliban. Uh, no, Spirit of 76. No, I don't care how you came to know Jesus, honestly. And I really don't care for the all caps. I'm sorry that you used to be atheist and now you came to know Jesus, but good for you. Hope it improved your life, my friend, because it's fucking up a lot of other people's. God wants real spiritual fruit, not religious nuts. Is that what God wants? People who think they know what God wants, that always kills me too, right? God, you don't know. A guy said to me, uh, Barack wasn't a horse with a lady's head. It was a creature nobody knows what it looks like. Well, if nobody knows what it looks like, then how do you know it didn't have a lady's head? You know what I mean? This is the thing. It's like God wants God. Well, you don't fucking know what God wants. First of all, he doesn't exist. Second of all, he doesn't communicate with us. Third of all, somehow he wants what you want, right? This is like always the way that it goes. It always seems to coincide with what you want. God wants, God wants, God wants. That's blasphemy. Speaking for God is the actual definition of blasphemy. People use blasphemy to mean heresy when people talk about blasphemy just being anything that goes against teaching. That's not really what the root of blasphemy means. Blasphemy means when people put a church sign up that says, "Hey, I'm missing you. Get in here." God, and they ascribe that's blasphemy. When you pretend to speak for God, that's blasphemy. So here's a guy who's telling us what God really wants. You don't know. You don't know what God wants. What you think God wants, you took maybe out of one book. Another book says that God wants a different thing. That's how they talked everyone into the the Crusades, the Crusades. Funny that, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Down under Deb. What's up, Down under Deb? Down under, not down under the southern accent there. I don't know why. Down under from Texas. Hey, you from Texas? You're down under in the United States, down under the thumb of Republican autocracy and a bunch of men telling women what to do with their bodies and trying to their damnedest to make sure them brown folks can't vote next time because look how they fucked us up. They all voted for Biden. And why did they vote for Biden? Because we let them vote by mail and we let them come after hours. And we need to shut that down. So only people who are able to get off during work can come and vote, and that means white folks only. And that's the way that we'll get that orange man back in office because we really need his brand of bigotry in America to make America great again. That's what we need. Thank you. Finally, Spirit of 76. Goodbye, my friend. Idiot. Ramil, oh, thanks for joining. That smells weird. Stev Underground. What's up? Thanks for Gita Life. Thanks. This is an awesome whistle. You can get one too for $7 on Amazon. I got two of them. I got two of them right here. That way I got a backup. If my dog chews one up, one's a little smaller. They got different tones. I was asked ounce what I see when I look at the cross. I said I see a medieval torture. Medieval. Um, yeah, medieval would be like a guillotine or a well, that's not torture, I guess, or like an Iron Maiden or a drawn and quartered, man. It's like a Bronze Age torture device. The Phoenicians, I've talked about it before. The Phoenicians invented the the cross and the crucifixion thing, and it was really a brutal way to die. What happens when you get hung on a cross is you have to shift your weight between hanging on your arms and standing on your legs, right? Because if you hang from your arms, you suffocate right away. You can't suck a breath in. So then you would spend time pressing up on your feet so you could breathe for a while, and then your legs would cramp and get tired of doing that, and so you'd let yourself hang for a while, and then you couldn't breathe, and so you do, and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you died 3 days later from exposure or crows ate your eyes out or whatever it was. That's why the Romans broke your legs because the Romans actually had a little bit of sympathy for you once you're up on the cross. They're like, yeah, this is fun for a while. Break his legs so that he has to hang from his arms and suffocate, and then you die fairly rapidly. Unless you're cool like Jesus and you can just be like, into your hands I commend my spirit, and then he just dies, right? Um, so that's the thing, you know. Jesus killed himself, right? If you read that like that, that Jesus himself committed suicide. He didn't let himself be killed on the cross. He gave up his spirit. In other words, he killed himself. He committed suicide. So that's against Christian doctrine, isn't it? But here Jesus did it, killed himself. So why would you make that the holy thing? Yeah, who knows? It's always goofy, isn't it? The whole torture device being the icon of your religion. And then thrown into a pit, never a tomb. Yeah, the whole idea of the cave. How many caves were there where they could use like a tomb like that, where they had this picture of like a stone that's like a big wheel and they could roll it across the front and stuff. It's like, come on. I don't think he died. Actually, he said multiple times later, "I am not dead." If there was a Jesus, anyway. Okay. Thoughts on the Pope? Fuck the Pope. Fuck the fucking Pope. Fuck that. Everybody like Tim Minchin? Yeah. Not a Pope's a jerk, man. Until he shuts down the religion, until he shuts down the church and says, you know what, assholes? We're not having any more churches open until we fix this, right? But who knows, man? He's probably one of them. He's just, until he does that, he's complicit. I don't give a shit how progressive he says he is or how cool people think he is compared to other popes. He's trying to keep people in the church. He's trying to get with the program a little bit so that people won't leave the church for being fucking assholes. What's up, my friend? Black Atheist France is with us. Hello, my good friend. Always good to see you too, my friend. And glad you're still rocking on YouTube. We need your presence and we miss you when you're not around, dude. So you keep on doing your thing, man. And let me know, man, if you get back to 1,000 followers. I'd love to do a live with you sometime. We can totally collaborate. I would have fun with that, and we appreciate you. If you haven't followed Black Atheist Rants, then you're an asshole. Go follow him. Um, he tells it like it is, and he doesn't pull any fucking punches, man. I feel like the Romans just found a new way to keep their empire going. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Didn't last them much more than a couple hundred years after that, but that's probably true. But they could have picked a lot of cults to go with, and for whatever reason they picked Christianity, and here we are stuck with it. Thank you very much, Constantine and and Theodicus or Theodus or whatever the hell whoever else. Uh, are you at 1K now, man? Cool, man. Let's do that one time. That's awesome, bud. I'm glad. I'm glad to see you building back up. It's rough, man. That's why I'm scared to get my shit pulled, man. I did a limerick on Muhammad and it got kicked off, and I knew it was gonna, but it just sets you back on the algorithm every time you get a video taken down or every time you get a live stream interrupted. I feel like it sets you back in your uh, your ability to keep growing, keep moving forward. So TikTok's got some issues. They really gotta work it out. But um, yeah, I'll I'll hit you up. I'll DM you, and we'll do that one time. I'm going out of town this week, and I'm supposed to do a live. Yeah, 216,000. Let's not pull any punches here. It was 216,000 kids in France, man, over the last. I don't forget what they said. It was from maybe the 50. When was it? It was a certain amount of year. It wasn't like last year. It was like that's all of them over the. But it was up to 2020. Long after the whole scandal was uncovered and we know what was going on, they figured out that 216,000 kids in France, by the state church, right? This is isn't that their state religion? I imagine it is. even though in a lot of ways they're more secular, the government, than we are. They had the balls to pull the plug on the niqab, right, the full face covering for Muslim ladies, and they took flack for that. I got to give them props, man. They got to do what they got to do to protect their people. They don't want bombs going off in subways anymore. And if you can hide your identity like that, you can hide a bomb under that friggin' burqa. They got every right in the world to stop people from wearing that shit, you know. And of course, they took a bunch of grief, religious freedom, and that's their right to wear it if they want. Bullshit. If the government decides it's a danger to the society, they have the right to pull the plug on it. And let's see if they got the balls to do it with the fucking disgusting Catholic Church, man. Yeah, from 1940 or something. So you know, it's a lot of years, but still, it's like hard to get your head around. France is a pretty small country. 3,000 diddling priests, 3,000 Father McFeelys, and Bishop Don't Touch Me There's, and Monseigneur Violet les Enfants. All right, I'm just, it's just, ugh, it's fucking ridiculous. France is secular, but you know how the church works. Yeah, I still think they have, you know, they're secular now in terms of the way they operate, but I still think they at least you know, they have a state religion, and that's why most people in France are Catholic, because they never gave up Roman Catholicism as the official religion of the country. Thanks, Canarian, Canarian. Which join. Yeah, I was supposed to do a live in a week or two with a sandwich, who's now called at Tax the Churches, right? She's fabulous. She's funny, and smart, and XJ Dub, and awesome TikTok crush of mine. And hopefully I can go live. She didn't answer on the date, but hopefully we can set that up for the 22nd. But yeah, I'll hit up Black Atheist Rants, and we will go and we'll do some fucking ranting. I can tell you what, that dude will get me going. It'll rub off. I'll be like, fuck your God, fuck your God, fuck your context, fuck your God. Yeah, no, I'm all about it. Jay Hart joined. What's up, Jay Hart? Boricua yo, Boricua yo. Is that yo? Como yo soy boricua también. Parezco güero, pero tengo familia en Puerto Rico, y somos boricuas todos. I worship the sun. Well, you know, the sun worship is, you know, Thomas Paine brought that up. He understood Jesus as just a personification of the sun, and Christianity is nothing more than sun worship, with a person called Jesus placed in the position that the sun was in ancient astrotheology. It's not brain surgery to figure all that out. What's popping, gayest twink? We're popping, man. We're popping off about uh, Catholics in France diddling kids on a scale that no one could have guessed. Well, we all could have guessed. It was just, it seems like so many. It's the biggest one so far. I think is the biggest single revelation about um, the numbers of kids, in terms of the numbers of kids that they've discovered. Didn't the Big Bang Theory founded? It was articulated first by a Catholic priest. Yeah. So, you know, Catholics for a long time were the you know, the keepers of religion in the West. I don't have any problem saying that. You know, and thanks to him, there's a lot less Catholics now nowadays. But yeah, you know, a lot of scientific discoveries in the past were made by religious people. It's not that's not news. Any worries that taxing the churches would give them more opportunity for representation? That was the old argument, right? But they're already doing it. You know what I mean? They're already doing it. They're already promoting Agent Orange. They're already standing up for whatever candidate they want. They're already there. They're already breaking those rules. So I don't think you know, the thing is, it's going to just cost them so much money that it's going to make it hard for them to operate a lot of them. And so in the end, I think that's a greater good than the evil that could come from them actually, you know, having the ability to lobby openly. Peter made an extensive documentary about him. My favorite public intellectual, Peter who? Have you seen the doc when they send American priests to Scandinavia? He is he gets mad that no one believes in God. No, I haven't seen that. What's that called? You worship the sun god Ra? Sweet, man. Watch The Family on Netflix. I can't bring myself to do it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I know the whole story, and I know it's just going to accept me. And that was a Swedish dude or a Norwegian dude, I want to say. That's the irony, right? These other countries that are so atheistic, it's because they sent their asshole Christians to America. Thanks for getting blocked, Heavy 36, and thanks for blocking. I don't know what you guys did, but oh, Jesus is coming. Yeah, just please, not in my face. Thanks for the warning, though. Tax the churches and the rich as well. Yeah, right. We need to get back to where the rich people pay their share in America. It's a real problem. Uh, 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 hope it's good for them. Yeah. Well, mm. Yeah. Make churches open the books once they find out where the money is going. Then they just should have to comply. They should have to comply with the rules of a tax exempt organization of a nonprofit. The other nonprofits do. Why don't churches? Why y'all Christians always sound so hateful, bro? Yeah, well, they are. It's so bad to be Christian. Why is it so bad to be a Christian? Everybody hates on Christians these days. It's so does anyone feel sorry for those people that feel persecuted? Odin Wooden, yes, no, not on my face. Odin Wooden, what's up? S Christian political group that runs things behind. Yeah, no, the family is the story of a guy who, got rich and just used his money to influence politics, and he's the guy who started the prayer breakfast, right? It was his idea, and it's not even a secret conspiracy. It's basically an open air effort to influence politics and recast this as a Christian nation, and it's worked to a certain extent. We see what goes on with the money and the pledge and the prayer breakfast and Congress opening with a prayer, and every president and every politician, no matter who they are, ending their speeches with "God bless America." No, no, shut up. That's divisive. A lot of us don't trust in God, and we're Americans too, and we shouldn't have to live in a country that's run by a religious minority. Period. Thanks, Odin Wooden. Love what you do, man. Thanks for being here. Down Under Deb says Christians set themselves up to feel victimized. Yeah, they do, and again, they got away with it for so long too. It was just so ubiquitous. Christianity in America for decades and decades and decades was like 85% Protestant. Not even so many Catholics. We got a lot of immigrant population now in the cities, thanks to the Hispanic influence and others. When the Italians and the Irish came here, they're all Catholics, right? So urban areas, the Catholic, but for decades in the early days, there was not even any real Catholic population here. This was a Protestant country in terms of the religion that most people follow, by 85% mainline Protestant, and for years before the evangelical revolution, before all this newfangled shit, before the decline of religion and the rise of things like paganism and atheism and other minorities coming here, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus. Uh, it was sick. When I was a kid, it was nothing but Protestants. Period. I didn't even know any Catholics where I grew up. One family, because they were Italian by descent, and you had to travel 30, 40 miles to find one Catholic church for those people to go to. And the rest of it was just, coated, the hills coated with small town, little white churches on the hill full of, Protestants and, Congregationalists and Baptists and Methodists and Calvinists and Lutherans and Episcopalians and Presbyterians. That's what you had, and they were all basically on the same page. The differences in those philosophies are minimal. They're all about, you know, that mainline Protestant Christianity. It had little tiny differences, and nobody knew it. That was the church you went to because it was closest to your house, or you liked the pastor better than you liked the other pastor down the road. That's what determined what church you went to, not because you disagreed with Calvinist philosophy as compared to, down to the Wesleyan church. That shit was lost on the common man. But that's the way it was. It was such a majority Christian that they got away with whatever they wanted to for so long, and now that there's kickback, they do feel persecuted. They don't get it. A lot of these little old ladies that I see, they're really butthurt by it. They really feel like um, people are persecuting Christianity, and really what they're seeing is a backlash against the shitty parts of Christianity, and they don't get it because to them it's all good. Just stop by to say I'm proud of you. Thank you, everybody's dad. You everybody's dad. Thank you, Dad. Wasp. Yeah, yeah. I was born and raised a wasp, my friend. That's what they all were. If they weren't deists, the founders were wasps. Period. True local church. Yeah. Are there any theistic philosophers that you have respect for. No, if you're a theist, I automatically discount your intelligence. Period. I don't give a shit how fucking smart and how educated you are and how you can argue your bullshit. If you think that there's a God who gives a shit about us here on Earth, I have less respect for your intelligence than other people. Period. Another sweeping generalization from yours truly. Funny how they preach Catholicism is evil when their religion is just the same in a different font. Yeah, it really is, But they did, the KKK was there were factions of the KKK that skeletons in my closet. Some of my great grandparents were anti-Catholic members of the KKK, and they didn't concentrate on black people or people of color. They wanted Catholics fucking gone, and that's what they did. So little known fact there. Fun fact. I'm a lifelong atheist. I was a real shit in Sunday school. Yeah, you didn't believe, but somebody made you go, and so you were the kid asking questions, right? Fortunately, through Sunday school, I bought the Kool-Aid for the most part. But when it came down to like the hardcore shit, and Sunday school teachers were really into it, tried to like get us to memorize Bible verses and stuff, and I was just like, you know what? I'd rather do anything. I'd rather hack off, or crack a joke, or make a fart sound, or do anything to not make Sunday school about actual homework. Who the fuck wants that? Don't you get enough of that in school? Yeah, it's true. It's true about the KKK. Uh, I wish I was a much yeah, me too. I wish I could go back and shove it up those teachers' asses in Sunday school. Because looking back on it, it's like Sunday school was mostly mellow, but then, we got some more hardcore teachers who were like, and now I look at some of those teachers, I still see some of them on Facebook, and they're like disgusting Republican tards. They're like Ted Cruz fans and shit like that, "We really need a guy like Ted Cruz to be president." Really? That's where you've gone from being just a kind of a born again, uptight mom in the '70s. Now you're an old lady who thinks Ted Cruz is what we need, man. This is like, wow, it's just, oh, whew. You were good at Bible drills, huh? Yeah, I was always pretty good at that stuff, but, just because I memorized stuff pretty easy, not because I really did any work at it. Are we our names? There's no point in trying to name it when we don't understand anything about it. I'm not sure what you're getting at. Uh, the churches here are arseholes. They put up spiked gates so homeless people can't have shelter there. Yeah, it used to be churches were open, right? Back in the day, a church door wasn't locked. A lot of times, if it was a church, simple church that didn't have like shit to steal, when I was growing up, a lot of those churches were open, and if you needed a place to crash in the storm or whatever, you could find shelter there. All that shit's gone away. Um, if there is intelligence behind the cosmos, we can't understand it. Yeah, well, that's true. Um, but someday we'll probably be able to study it in a way that we can't now, and it's part of our evolution, I believe, or I hope. I don't know if I believe. I have confidence. I have optimism that science will continue to discover things and advance. You know, uh, on into infinity. And it doesn't mean it's always just the behind the next door is God. There'll always be people um, who, who look at it that way. So they could debunk God completely, and there'd still be people who are like, "Wow, but God's behind that." Can you explain evangelical? Yeah, evangelical are um, the group of churches that took over as the majority of Christians in America. Um, Among the Protestants, and all of a sudden you had to separate evangelicals from mainline Protestants. Evangelicals are like the apostolic churches and the Pentecostal churches and the Assembly of Gods and these mega churches that kind of water down the message. And I think they're identified by biblical literalism, by conservative politics, by a real call to spread the word. Whereas the old mainline Protestants was kind of like, you do you and I'll do me, and you didn't see those people going door to door or being up in your face in the neighborhood, whereas evangelicals really take to heart the call to missionary work, the idea that the entire world is a missionary field, and when you leave the church you need to go spread the word, spread the gospel, spread the good news of born againism. So that's what evangelical is. You evangelize, and the old mainline Protestants didn't give a shit about that, really. Yeah, they might have sponsored mission trips here and there, but it wasn't like, nobody came up to you. In my day, you would never go up to your neighbor and say, "Hey, you know what? I have a really nice church. But do you want to go to that church? He's just like, you didn't talk about that shit. But evangelicals, it's like that's their fucking bit. They have to go and force other people to, or try to force other people, or try to convince other people to join their shitty church. And then you go to the church and you see that it's not, there's no philosophy behind it. It's this is what the Bible says. This is what I say the Bible says, and I'm the preacher, and you need to just follow this. And if you just do that, you'll go to heaven. You don't need to question it. You don't need to think any more deeply about it. If the Bible says it, it's true, and you just believe it, and you're going to heaven. Um, and it's just, I don't know. It's a fucking embarrassment. Again, it's an intellectual embarrassment. The Southern Baptists are evangelical. Yeah, it's true. The Baptists that I grew up with are First Baptists from the North. Very different. Very different. They're mainline Protestants. So they were one of the religions of the founders. They maybe were a little bit more conservative than the church I went to. Like they weren't into dancing hip to hip as much, or gambling maybe was a little bit more taboo. But in general, no, they were in lockstep with other mainline Protestant denominations where you didn't take the Bible literally. We understood that science was real and that the Earth was not 6,000 years old. We've already discovered that. You took the message of Jesus and you took what you could out of it. And if church went over an hour, people were looking at their watches. They're like, you know what, Jack, we got to go. Wrap it up. I never was preached hellfire and brimstone to me. No one ever talked about the devil like it was a real entity. It was more of, church is what you do on Sunday. You try to be good to people. Jesus was a nice guy who didn't harm anybody and preached turn the other cheek, didn't tote a gun, wouldn't have voted for Trump if he was the last person on the earth. He was basically a socialist who hung out with the downtrodden, the forgotten members of society, the lepers, the prostitutes, the drug addicts. He ministered to those less fortunate than him, and those were the basic lessons that we took from my church. And hence it was easy to give it up, as an obvious made up philosophy when I got older. But I got a good experience in church. It wasn't traumatic. It wasn't disgusting and hideous, and I don't have any stories of abuse or lingering guilt. I didn't have to deconstruct. People talk about deconstructing and all this. It was just like, okay, yeah, once you get to a certain age and your mom's not making you go anymore, you realize that this is all bunk, and it's just put together to try to keep the community together on Sundays, and try to get people to be good to each other. And it really wasn't a whole lot more thought that went behind it. Um, so yeah, I miss those kind of churches. I think America could benefit from more churches like that again. If people are going to stick with religion, that's the way it needs to go. And we see that. We see a little uptick in the mainline Protestant denominations compared to the drop in attendance that the evangelicals are dealing with, because they've brought it upon themselves. They've aligned themselves with the devil. And I use the term metaphorically. They preach hate. They practice hypocrisy. They don't. They aren't tolerant. They aren't loving. They don't do what Jesus would do. They're all interested in capitalism, republicanism, Trumpism, anti-vax and anti-vaxxers, but by and large, and anything that rails against what they consider the left it's become an identity politic. They don't put any thought into the philosophy. Like I said, they don't give a shit what Jesus would do. They don't want to give up their guns. They don't want to give up their riches. They don't want to be tolerant of others. They want to make everybody like them, and they won't be comfortable until they do that. So, the kids today don't want anything to do with that. They're leaving it in droves. They don't want to hear it. They all know a friend of theirs who's LGBTQIA, and um, the gayest twink says once in church, a youth pastor told me if I were gay, he'd punch me in the face. Right? Did you get punched in the face? You should have been like, punch away, bitch. Turn the other cheek. I'm a real Christian, right? Turn the other cheek at that asshole. But that's what you get, man. That's the kind of hate you get. Oh, God doesn't like all that. Really? Then why do you make so many of them? And why do you make them all cool and good looking? No cognitive function at all. Churches are more like the successful ones are more like businesses. Bill Willard, what's up, my friend? If you go to the country, you see an awful lot of shacks, churches that are just, the people in the trailers down the road go to that little Free Will Baptist Church in Tennessee, and they don't have any money. They're not banking riches. The pastor's making a bare bones living, and the people can barely afford to stick a dime in the plate. And those ones aren't the problem. But the mega churches, yeah, the Joel Osteen churches and all of these in between size mega churches that we see popping up across the prairie like fucking mushrooms. Yeah, they're banking. How do you think they get loans to build the friggin' facilities they build? As a Journey Church, it started as Assembly of God. Now it's called Journey Church. And every time I go by the Journey Church, the Talking Head song "Road to Nowhere" goes through my head. It's like they're on a journey. We're on a road to nowhere. Right? That's it. Go every time I see it. I'm like, and it says underneath, making it easier to find and experience God. And that's what it's all about. They want to make it easy for these people to believe in something they don't have to think about. Just buy what the preacher says, buy what the Bible says or what somebody tells you the Bible says, and don't give it any more thought than that. And it's a relief to these people because they don't want to think. They don't want their cognitive bubble into the surface. They don't want to have to wonder if it's wrong. They want to feel like they went to a church and they want to feel like they're going to heaven and they're doing right by Jesus just because somebody else said so. And meanwhile, they're putting their money because they're all Karens and decent suburban families who are not decent but making a decent living, right? They're all well-to-do white people or middle-class white people who can afford to put some money in the plate, and then they keep on getting more people and more money in the plate, and all of a sudden the church has got a new wing and a new rock band and two theaters and a fucking banquet hall and whatever the fuck else they want to have. And it's just fucking disgusting. Toxic blind faith. Yeah, blind faith. I rail against it all the time. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years. Yeah, for real. Who sang that? What are you ugging about? My Talking Heads song? That's a great song. Road to Nowhere. Talking Heads was a great band. And Christians are becoming radicalized now. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And they don't care about Christianity. They don't care about the message of Jesus. They're becoming it's an identity politic. They want to feel like that's what it is to be a patriot. I'm a Republican. I'm a gun toting, and I love Jesus. Really? Where did Jesus promote guns? Show me that verse. What do you think scares people about being inclusive and tolerant of others? I don't know. Anything different. If anything different that people don't get is scary to them. It's never been any different. Immigrants, homosexuals, um most people are afraid of the homosexuality within them, right? I mean that they don't want to face their own feelings when it comes to the same sex, and that's society, that's cultural conditioning, where we demonize homosexuality and the kids laugh at the twink on the playground or the kid who's a little bit Nelly, and it becomes a thing. You don't want to be the one who is, and I said we see that changing, right? Even with in terms of homosexuals who are more femme. Then that used to be all right. Well, at least if you're the butch, and you're a top, at least you're a pitcher, not a receiver, right? You're not a catcher. But we even see that changing now with the empowerment of the LGBT community and the mainstreaming of being gay and transgender. We see those stereotypes disappearing a little bit because the kids coming up, they get it. Like the kid on Shameless said, liking what I like doesn't make me a bitch. It's empowerment, and I wish atheists could get some of that because our gay friends have done a great job mainstreaming themselves. Anti-Pope Francis fanatics are scary. Anti-Pope Francis fanatics. What's that mean? Why are they scary? Everybody should be anti-Pope Francis. He's just another protector of the status quo, as we see here. We've right up to 2020. It's going on under his eyes, under his watch. On his watch, we got more diddling priests in uh, in France than you can shake a fucking stick at. That guy, Pastor Greg Locke, is downright dangerous. Yeah, he is. All those people are just they're lunatics, man, and they're just about promoting ultra right wing radical fanaticism and craziness. I hate when the people say the Pope is pro LGBT when he wants us all to be celibate. Yeah, the Pope's an asshole. He's not pro LGBT. He's not going to let gay people get married in the church, right? So how pro LGBTQ is he? When he does that, when he changes church doctrine to allow gay marriage, then that might be something. But until then, it's just talk. He just wants gay people to come back to the church. He doesn't want to lose money in the plate. Period. Period. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. I don't give a shit about Pope Francis. I don't want to hear anybody say that Pope Francis is like more liberal and more better, or more progressive than other popes. No, until he fixes what the fuck is wrong with the Catholic Church, he's a piece of shit like all of them. Ever seen a pic of Jesus with a dinosaur head? No, I think I've seen Jesus riding a dinosaur. I think I've seen that one, right? Is he got a saddle on a Tyrannosaurus Rex and he's blasting away? Yeah, I've seen that one. You must sleep. Yeah, I got that feeling myself. I had a long day. It was a good day though for me. But take it easy, buddy. I love you, man. The Mad Hatter. Going to bed. Pesci bless all who are in my life. Joe Pesci's God. The Jesus myth was most likely a compilation of people at the time, not necessarily even a Jesus. Yeah, I don't. That's a one possibility. Another possibility is that the myth was made up out of from whole cloth, like Thomas Paine believed, and it was just another way to sell sun worship, and put a mythical figure called Jesus at the center of the sun. And that's why there's 12 disciples, because there's 12 zodiac signs. We'll never really know, and it's moot, right? To an atheist, it's a moot point. It's sort of fun to talk about, but whether Jesus existed or not is moot to an atheist. He wasn't God if he did exist. If he didn't exist, then he didn't exist. So, really, in the end, it's like, all right, it's interesting parlor conversation, but in the end, who really gives a fucking shit if Jesus existed or not? He doesn't exist now, right? We know that. You could blame Constantine for anything you wanted. Go for it. Uh, Terrible movie, wasn't it? Constantine. Howdy from corrupt California. What's up, Marx Brothers? He's back. Oh, California. We love it. Joe bless you. Joe Pesci, that is. Joe Pesci is God. Hex the patriarchy. Yeah, yeah. Hex it. My grandma used to go like this. That's how she would hex shit. If she was watching sports and she wanted one team to lose, when he was getting up to bat, or the bowler, they used to love bowling and watch bowling. And when the guy's ready to bowl, she'd go and try to jinx his ball. What is your personal distinction between atheist and agnostic? This comes up so much, and people get so mad because agnosticism is about knowledge and atheism is about belief. Well, I call myself an atheist because I don't believe there's a God, but I'm really an agnostic atheist because I don't know there's not a God. I have to leave room for that possibility, no matter how tiny the possibility is. And I think most atheists fall into that category. There's a quadrant, right? A graph, right? You're an agnostic atheist, a gnostic, a Gnostic atheist, where you think that there's no God, or an agnostic theist who admits that he doesn't know if there's a God or not, or a Gnostic theist. So you fall in one of those four quadrants. And there's people that, and this is my issue with Gnostics. Most religions think that they know that it's true, and they don't want to admit. Not all of them. Again, I won't generalize there, because I meet a lot of people. And they'll come to comments. They're like, you know, I don't know. I believe there's a God. I hope there's a God, and I believe strongly that there is a God, but I can't prove it, so I don't know. So those people are agnostic too. In terms of knowledge, we're all agnostic, because it's hard for anybody to say that they know. Um, and some people do. I know some atheists who do say that they know, and they've proven through philosophy that there is no God, and that's great for them. I'm not one of them. So that's really the difference. They describe two different things, but people who call themselves atheists are just we have the balls to own it. I, I I don't believe. And people who call themselves agnostics, they're not really talking about knowledge in general. They're talking about belief when they really shouldn't be. The agnostics who want to be fence sitters, it's like, well, they don't know whether they believe or not. They know they don't know. So, why do you need to be a fence sitter? Just admit that you don't know, but you don't believe, and call yourself an atheist. But, they call themselves agnostics because they want to be able to sit on that fence of belief. I'm not sure. There's not enough knowledge for me to base a belief on. So I call myself an agnostic. And generally, I just find it to be a cop out. I'm like, all right, if you believe or not, you know. And if you're leaning one way or the other, then call yourself what it is. But to just call yourself an agnostic, that doesn't describe anything. We're all agnostic from that point of view. What denomination were you exposed to as a young man? I was a Congregationalist, and you might have to Google that because they're missing. There was a Congregationalist church here in my town, and it finally closed because there was like literally 11 people left in the church. But as soon as they got bought, the building got bought by a mega church, and they opened a branch like a fucking bank. They opened a branch up, and then all of a sudden it filled up with people again. It was a Christ the King church, right? That's what it's called now. Christ the King church, and they have a big outlet out, out by the strip malls and the factory outlets. And then they got this little one downtown. It's in a beautiful building. A nice old, typically built congregational church. But Congregationalism was a mainline Protestant denomination from the founders. But you can look it up. Look up the if you look up the denominations of the Christian founders, it'll show you Dutch Reform, Episcopalian, which was the Anglican church when it came here, Presbyterian, Congregationalist is one of the big ones. And slowly over the years, it just dwindled because the philosophy wasn't hardcore enough for the people who wanted that cut and dried Jesus is the way of the mega churches and the evangelical churches. For the people who really wanted to be born again and own that and be like out there with it and doing missionary work and converting your neighbors, those people took more from this watered down, simple message of the mega churches than they did from the more esoteric, more philosophical, more liberal philosophies of the Congregational churches and the Methodist churches and the First Baptist churches of the North, where nobody was really. What's up, Techno B? Sorry. Oh man, you're forced to go to church. Are you a young person? All right, well, on Sunday you can hop on afterwards. And I'm sorry I didn't see you here earlier. Shout out to my YouTubers. Um, no, consciousness does not exist outside the brain. I'm a materialist. Everything we are comes from our brain. It's been demonstrated in the lab. They can excite parts of your brain and elicit what people would think was a spiritual response. Um, you were talking about a soul when consciousness it exists outside the brain. That's a soul concept, right? That's a spirit. Well, the thing is that we know how thoughts and memories are recorded in the brain. So if you have a soul and the soul leaves your body, how does that immaterial being retain that knowledge? It doesn't. It can't. There's no way for that knowledge to be transferred. Just like a computer, it's like where's it going to go? You bring a hard drive with that spirit? No. Everything that you experience is from your brain. Part of that is that atheist is a very bad word. No one wants to admit it. Yeah, and then it's part of why I own being an atheist. I think that needs to be taken away. Have you heard of Rupert Sheldrake's work on morphic resonance? No. You mean you just threw up Jesus? What? You mean you threw up Jesus? What did I say? You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? What that means? Remember when everyone had the fish bumper stickers? They still do. I think, but they're not really bumpers. I see those fish that are like metal things that you stick on, right? And then there was a whole bunch of other ones, right? The Darwin one for the people that were overreacted and had to put a evolution one. It was a fish with legs. And then the Christians countered with the bigger fish that said truth on its side, swallowing the Darwin fish. You fucking idiots, man. My favorite one then was a fish that said gefilte in the middle. Some slick Jew came up with that as like, you Christians and your fish, gefilte fish. That's the only fish we need. That's my favorite fish bumper sticker per se. I still see the not W ones all the time. I don't know what that is. Gayest twink. You had the gefilte fish magnet. That's awesome. That was just the best. That's a pagan symbol. What the fish? They said, "Where's the proof?" and showed them. They said, "Where's the proof?" and showed them and got blocked. I'm sorry, I'm missing the first parts of those. Oh, I got blocked from a Christian life for showing them proof King James went to hire a witch. What did he hire a witch for? To do some witching for him? I'm scrolling back through the comments here. Oh, one time I threw up the host and the nun just about killed me. What does that mean? The host. You threw up the wafer? Is that what that is? I don't know what the host is. Grew up Catholic. I hated communion. Always stuck to the root. Yeah, that stuff. I've had that wafer. I'm not Catholic, but I've been to I've been to some communions and taken that nasty dry ass wafer. And it does. It's like a dog with peanut butter in its mouth. They're filthy. What can't you come up with a little finger sandwich, a little cucumber sandwich or something that could be the body of Christ? That sounds more appetizing. The old Catholic sect separated from Rome. I never heard of them before. What's up, Marx Brothers? I missed that. Were you raised Congregational Church? Mr. History 2025. Nice. Some people don't even know what that is anymore. Honestly, they don't. I know I believe in everything, so that's why I use the word what? Agnostic? Oh. Hmm, okay. Oops. The distinction between a God or the possibility of God doesn't need recognition. Yeah, I think that's probably right, Bill Willard. People who won't question scare me a bit. Yeah, you think? Especially when the shit that goes on now. It's like, again, with the Catholic scandal, it's like, well, uh, I've got an issue with some of the men who run my religion. Then fucking quit the religion. Help it die. Do something. Don't just keep going and saying, it's like I love my faith, but it's the people who run it. Yeah, bullshit. Um, yeah, Money Man says it does meditation work. It works for me. I meditate a lot to get rid of headaches, to just calm myself. Meditation, I think, is a genius thing. It's a great idea. I think everybody should meditate from time to time. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't think it changes anything physically in the world, but it can work to for your own peace of mind and even for like I said, for pain management. And I'm not sure if it make it go faster or if it really, I get cluster headaches and they come by every couple of years. It's really brutal. If you know what a cluster headache is, Google it. It's a I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But they only last. Each headache is brutal, but they only last 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour at the outside. And I don't know if meditating actually diminishes the pain or if it just makes the time go by. But if I'm in those headaches, I'll get in the dark room and I'll meditate. Um, and it tends to work for me. Uh, uh, You are a great orator. Thank you, Down Under Tab. I appreciate it. I feel like I get fumble mouth. The older I get, the harder it is. But I have started to look for voiceover work, and thank you all so much for your encouragement. I hear from time to time that people enjoy my voice, and I am a trained actor. That's where that's where a lot of my talent lies. I'm not gonna pretend it's not. And my voice is one of my assets, and so being in landscape is just getting old for me, and I feel like in some ways I miss my calling, but I really loved it. So I just was like smoking weed, and I'm like I wanted to be outside, I wanted to be making beautiful gardens for people, and it captivated me for a long time. But the older I get, the less I want to do that. It's physically shitty. It's hard. It's a stressful business all the time, trying to sell and keep the money coming in like that. And so I've started to look for voiceover work, and I made some headway today, specifically looking for places to audition and reaching out for possible jobs in that area. So if anybody knows of anybody who needs voiceover work right now, I got my own recording equipment, which is nice, because I do a podcast. Thanks, Nick. NJ Nick says, "Hey, bro, I love your content." Thank you, man. I love you. Love you for being here. But I am able to record and edit and provide a quality recording of my voice. I feel like a lot of people have a nice voice, but do they have access to equipment to record it and send a file along? And so I got all that stuff lined up here because of the podcast and because of what I do here. So hopefully I can make a career change. So I appreciate your thoughts there. Thank you, down on the dib. Think of our souls as one stream of consciousness. Now visualize 7.8 billion streams. Is it 7.8 billion now? Jesus, it's disgusting. Uh, what are your thoughts on psychic experience? I don't know, anecdotal. Everybody, nobody can manage to record or quantify it or, uh, do any experimentation on it, so until that happens, it's all, it could be stories, right? It could be just people talking shit. You don't know if it's true or not, but you also don't know if it's the next level for us, if it's the next evolution, or if it's just science we don't understand. I believe that some of that stuff, like deja vu, I've always wondered about that. What is that? I've had so many deja vus in my time, and it's so real and so weird, that it makes you wonder. None of it makes me think that there's a god or anything, supernatural behind it. I just think that there's ways that the brain works that science hasn't explained yet, and I think we probably will, and we probably are able to use our brains in ways that we don't even know yet. And future generations and future evolutions of mankind will likely be able to wield that power a lot better. And somebody said that we only use 20% of our brains anyway now, and here we are living in America where we know half the people only use like 1% of their fucking brains, if the way that they act is to be any indication. So, if we actually tapped and harnessed all the power of our huge wrinkly brains, then who the hell knows what we might be able to accomplish. Deja vu is understood. Please enlighten me. Um, a lot of people do voiceovers on YouTube. Do they? Was that a place to look? Flansy boy blocked. What did you do, Flansy boy? Ooh. 1% is generous. Yeah, you're right. Gas Twink says that is generous. Ms. Soup says deja vu is understood. I'm waiting for an explanation on that because I'm not arguing with you that it's not. I don't read everything and I don't know everything. Uh, uh, uh. They had ads for book readers. Yeah, that's another way to read the audiobooks. 100% of your brain at once is a seizure. uh, Semi driver here. Van Burkhead. Well, yeah, don't text and drive, my friend. Couldn't message while driving. You were amazing. Enjoying. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for listening. Van Burkhead 3. Love our semi drivers out there. I got a Class A CDL myself. One of the many side benefits that came with the landscape career. I've had to drive big fucking dump truck trailer rigs, not so much semi. I have driven semis, and I can if the apocalypse comes, I'll be like Mel Gibson. I'll be able to. I can drive that rig. You want to get out of here? You come to me, right? You grab that fucking semi and in the gas tanker and go, baby, go. But yeah, I love driving. I love it. I love driving trucks. I just think it's like trains with me, right? It's a romantic thing, and I would never want to do it. I've been in um, you know, uh, you're so awesome for doing it for a living. You guys make America run. You really do. And I imagine that it takes its toll on you, right? After a while, you're an OTR guy. You got hemorrhoids, and you got whatever you got to put up with, lot lizards and the stops and stuff. And so all that shit. Once you're doing it for a long time, it gets tiring. But yeah, driving a truck is okay for this college boy. I could be happy driving across the country for a little while. The U.S. government has research psychic ability. I'm sure. Why wouldn't they? I don't know what the market is on paid work, but there are paid gigs. Yeah, and voiceover work. I'm sure. Um, yeah, the audiobooks, they're not really audiobooks then when they get to that point. And in fact, that's something that I'm auditioning for right now is people who are making podcasts that are more like readers theater, where different people read the characters of the book and there's a narrator instead of one person reading you a book, which I can't get. Well, I don't know. I've tried to listen to some audiobooks. I ended up daydreaming as soon as somebody I can't get into an audiobook. I'd rather read the book. I don't know. That's just me. I just can't concentrate on somebody else reading a book. Check out Rat Race Rebellion for specific ad for that. Thank you, Rat Race Rebellion. Uh, uh, I read an article about the neurologic explanation for deja vu. Well, that's cool. Maybe I'll find that too. Rat Race Rebellion. I'm writing this down. Rat Race Rebellion. Thank you for that. I appreciate you people. I would really love to make a change and do voiceover work full time, or go around and speak too. When the atheist movement gets recranked up, and I believe it will, I'd love to go around and give speeches too. Been meaning to try to push that too, but then COVID hit and nobody nobody had a a convention last year. And even before that, the conventions were crapping out because it's like, who wants to keep paying $70 to hear the same seven assholes talk? I think we need to get more, more fun, more entertainment, more comedy, more music, more interactive shit in these atheist conventions, and we could have a lot more fun with them. I think. Bring on the psychic warfare. There wouldn't be casualties of innocent people. That's a good point. Uh, Hi, sir. What's up, M1 Saa? M1 SAHH. What's up with you? I love you. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna put my camera back on. Live streaming. Live streaming. Oh, Dina Ribadoo. Oh, I have the place to myself. I have nystagmus. The words shake. Oh, is that a condition? Nystagmus. I'm the opposite. I listen to audiobooks at top speed or my mind wanders. Yeah, you put them on as fast as you can. It's cool though because I've taken about 10 books in a few weeks. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're into it and it works for you, audiobooks are awesome, and I'd love to maybe record some. It's shaky eyes from a snowboarding accident. Snowboarding kills, baby. You got to be careful. Um, wow, shaky eyes. That sounds like a handle, right? Do I think aliens have visited Earth? No, I don't. And here's why. Um, can I pay $50 to only hear you, not the other six? Yeah, you can. Black Cat Claw, thank you. um, I like this explanation about the. Oh, Mrs. Squeeze loves my voice as an aphrodisiac. That you're welcome. You're welcome. You guys polyamorous? You can come on over. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I like it too. Thank you. I do. FWIW. Um, uh, if we use Earth as an example, the next convention is in November. I'll be in Boston for the FFRF convention. Margaret Atwood's going to be there, author of The Handmaid's Tale. That'll be exciting. Uh, if we take Earth as an example of how long it takes life to evolve to the point that we've gotten, then that means it takes 4.8 billion years for consciousness to evolve to our level of advancement. Okay, the universe is all the same age, right? So the planets that evolved like Earth did, the planets that coalesced around yellow suns and formed in a region where they could also evolve life, are going to be on a similar track. The since we have Earth as a model, it's unlikely that any other planets evolved life at a fast enough rate to engender to end up propagating a species of intelligent life that is so much more advanced than us that they've gotten to the point where they can travel the distances it would take to get from their planet to ours. We can't even see. I mean, we can see now. Finally, we can see other planets that probably are similar to Earth, similar sun, similar distance from that sun, that likely also have life on them. The universe is just too big, and now we have the ability to see those planets and identify where they are, and they're so far away that those people are going to face the same physical problems that we do, and that is not being able to travel any faster than the speed of light, and likely not anywhere near that fast, or developing a technology to put yourself to sleep so that you can travel for hundreds of years to get across those distances. um, the likelihood of a species having evolved to that point is extremely unlikely, being that we know, and this is what gives Christians the fine tuning argument, right? We know how long it took for us to get to this point where we're still brutally murdering each other, and we still believe in gods, and we're still you know uh, molesting kids in church, and acting like fucking monkeys. Um, that we've barely gotten to Mars. You know what I mean? Uh, so the idea that, and this is not me making this up. This is a paleontologist who actually explained this to me, why he doesn't believe that aliens visited Earth, other than the fact that there's no evidence for it and it's just a conspiracy theory. It's fun to think about, fun science fiction to think about, but no, there's been no aliens here. Thoughts on so-called exorcisms? Mentally ill people and people who belong to the church who think that they're possessed, and so they bring in an exorcist. I mean, it's all bullshit. Um, but again, you get desperate. You want to go? If you're 45 minutes from Boston, then go. If you're not a member of FFRF, you should join. It's only $40 to join, and then your ticket's only 75 to get into the convention. It's the weekend of November 17th, I want to say. And if you can go if you're not a member, it's just then the ticket's like 140 or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's on the website, ffrf.org. If you go, look me up. I will be there. Um, I probably won't have the hat on as much. Maybe once in a while. Maybe I'll go live for a minute from it there. But I generally bring a jacket and some decent clothes, and try to look impressive for a fucking half a minute out there. Is that your birthday weekend? Nice. Happy birthday coming up for you. I work in a psych hospital. I've had families ask for exorcisms. Yeah, good for them. Why not just take the person out of the hospital? Why are you paying the hospital bills if you're going to have a priest come over and work on them? Give me a break. The FFRF convention, Freedom from Religion Foundation, has their convention in Boston, the Boston Park Plaza. I want to say, grand old hotel, grand dime of Boston hotels, and it's not cheap. I think the group rate for FFRF for the hotel is like a buck 89 for a night, and that's discounted for the group that's going to be there. So Boston's not a cheap city, but it's a fucking great place. If you've never gone to Boston, it's worth it just to walk around. And November 17th is probably won't be too horrible weather. It's a little late in the year, but to walk the Freedom Trail and see the tangible history of the United States is there for you in Boston. If you live in Iowa, you live in Chicago, even it's like shit's 150 years old. You go to Boston and shit's 300 and 400 years old, and it's the difference is real. It's tangible. You can see it and feel it and love it. Um, uh, I grew up just being a patriot. I was a kid who I loved Revolutionary War history. We loved it, man, and that was our city. We could go to Boston in 70 an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, maybe, on a bus, and take a field trip and go to all those cool ass places. Um, mm, you stoked that the church was exposed today? Dina says she's yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they were exposed, but is anybody really surprised? And what are they going to do about it, baby? It's just it's it's a shame but we have to think that it's not really going to change anything yet because the French government's not going to shut down the church. Nobody's really going to get punished. The priests are not going to get prosecuted. They're going to get moved around again, probably. I don't know. But I can't wait to see. If anybody will do it, I think France will have the balls to do something about it. We'll see. People have a deep need to believe, be it a god or a dictator. You can't trump human nature. No, but you can educate, and we see the decline in religion is because we're advancing as a species. We're learning things that were previously ascribed or assigned to a god, and the more we know, the less we need that. You're not wrong. It's human nature to want to assign some order to the chaos and to find a pattern where there is none. Yeah, that's true. But again, if you dropped the entire scientific knowledge of today onto the people who made up religion, they wouldn't have made up the religion, not the same way that they did now. It's just too much is explained that wasn't explained when religion was founded, and the reason that religion persists is because of indoctrination and cultural conditioning and tradition, and family pressure, not because people get to age 14 and they're like, you know what, there must be a creator god, because why else would no if human beings appeared on the planet and the next day we dumped today's scientific knowledge on them and they all understood, any semblance of religion would not look like the religion we have today. I'm not saying there wouldn't be some, and there still wouldn't be spiritual people, and there still wouldn't be some concept here and there, but it would be vastly different. And that's why we see religion declining. There's just less and less and less and less of a need for the God of the gaps, for the to find that as an explanation. We can tell people why. This gal tells me that we can explain deja vu. So the more time goes by, the more discoveries are made, the less need we have for a bullshit excuse for why it's happening. It's something that you can't back up with facts. Okay, i.e., a creator. That's just silly. 12 Thursdays till Christmas. Is that all? It's just around the corner. Who doesn't love Christmas? I could make it till Christmas and then New Year's and then fuck winter, man. I'm ready for spring, but I'm good with it for that first month. You might get a virgin snow, you might get some pretty white, and then it's like, yay, I love going to the cities when it's all decked out for Christmas. Chicago and the Magnificent Mile is a magical place to be around Christmas time. I used to drive the horse carriages in Chicago, one of my first jobs out of school, and that was just it was at Christmas time. It was lovely. It was fucking fantastic. I had a big black overcoat and a top hat, and I did myself up with a tuxedo, and you give people a tour of downtown Chicago or the north side there where the horses were allowed to be. And when Michigan Avenue is done up for Christmas, it's hard not to get into it. What the hell? I love Christmas time. Make someone smile today. Thank you. Socrates said 3,000 years ago, education will eradicate all evils from society within one generation. See, that was an optimist there for you. You see, like the power of indoctrination and the poor quality of education. He's not wrong. Education will sooner or later eradicate all evils from society. I firmly do that. We just need to get back to it. We're not educating anybody right now. Yeah, I do Christmas. I don't give a fuck. That's I was raised a Christian, so I'm a cultural Christian, right? Like a lot of our friends are cultural Jews. It's okay for them to say that. They don't believe in God, but they want to celebrate family tradition with their people, and so they still do Passover. They still do a nice Seder. They still do Yom Kippur. They still do whatever because it's a way to get together and enjoy life and enjoy family and enjoy your loved ones and have some good food and some good wine and whatever you do. So yeah, I'm not one of those atheists who's like, "Oh, it's not Christmas." I'm happy to call it a Yule tree. I'm happy to do that. But I'm not that guy. It's like we all grew up with it. It's called Christmas in America. There's bigger fights to fight when it comes to secularism than the name of the stolen pagan holiday that we all know is Christmas. I think deja vu, if I'm not mistaken, is thought to have something to do with parallel universe links. I'm not saying you're wrong. I like to believe that that's kind of what's going on there, but I don't think that that's what the person who said that psychological there's a psychological explanation for it. So I doubt that it's the parallel universe thing. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. If I get a chance, I'll try to Google it. Uh, they slapped Jesus' birthday on the holiday, hence why it's both a Santa and Jesus. Yeah, and it was more than just the assimilation of a pagan holiday. It's again Jesus is the sun god. Jesus is a dying and rising Messiah. Well, the sun dies and then rises every year. And there was a time when people didn't know if it was going to come back. They were worried every year maybe the sun's not going to come back. They didn't understand the solar system and the universe and the age of the sun like we do now. And so every year when the sun went down and down and down in the sky, and every day daylight got lower and lower, and the crops died, and we had winter, and winter got ugly, and people died, and you couldn't grow anything, and the sun looked like it was, the further north you live, obviously we know now, because of the angle of the Earth and the way the Earth revolves around the sun, we understand that once we get to the solstice, it's going to start coming back up again because it's a visual, it's an illusion to us, right? But they didn't know that back then. They prayed to their gods that please let the sun come back. It looks like it's dying. And the interesting thing is that the sun goes away on December 21st, and visibly to the ancient astronomer, it does not appear to rise in the sky. They can the change is so little starting on the 22nd and the 23rd and the 24th. So for basically 3 days, the sun is dead. It doesn't look like it's coming back. And then on the third day, magically, ancient astronomers could measure that it was in fact coming up. And when you understand that, it's not hard to see why they chose that date for the birth of Jesus. It's like here is Jesus coming back after 3 days dead, just like the sun. Oh, magical how they chose that date for that when there's no real reason to think, even if Jesus was a real person, that he was born on December 25th. There's no reason for that other than the obvious ones. They wanted to assimilate pagan culture by adopting the holiday. It was easier for them to change over to the new religion, but it's also a reflection of the Son Messiah that is Jesus. Why do chipmunks keep attacking your coleus plants? They're probably tasty, my friend. Um, ooh, there's a lot of questions here. Sorry. Best books for deconverts. I don't know, man. I was never there. I was already a convert when all these new books started coming out. So read The God Delusion apparently does great things for everybody. Read God Is Not Great by Hitch. And some of Sam Harris's books, but I have a tough time with that. I'm reading one now called uh, Upon Further Review, and it's very well written by an amateur who was a Catholic who decided to study his own religion and decide if he could find anything to back it up, and he didn't. And he's written a massive volume. It's called Upon Further Review, and maybe you can find it. He sent me a copy because I'm an activist and he knows me, and hoping I would plug it. So here I am plugging it. If you want to like look into, read about the actual history of your faith, and through the eyes of someone who deconstructed by doing that research, then that one might help you. If I respect a religion, Amish would be it. Yeah, the Amish have an issue with incest and abuse of women in that closed down culture that they have. There was a couple of brothers who finally got arrested for molesting their sister because the combination of demonization of sex and their isolation and the patriarchy that runs rampant and the lack of people for victims to talk to. I think there's a lot of sex abuse that goes on and incest in families. I don't think that's isolated to one incident. So the Amish are not. I know they look cool from the outside. I'm it's not all that cool, man. But I get it. Believe me, I'm not getting down on you for because the Amish do have some stuff going on too, as far as living life and not concentrating on the little rectangle that we're all on right now. When did Christianity start to impact politics? Whew, probably from the time that it was incepted. I don't know. If you mean in America, I think it happened in the 50s. I think when TV came along and Billy Graham um, and evangelism became an optic. I think that's really when it started. And again, when the communist scare, the Red Scare, came around, and people started scaring the American public with a Russian takeover, and started contrasting godless communism with patriotic Christian America. That's when it really got ugly. But I think it's probably always affected it to some degree. I mean, Christianity affected the founders because they had to find a way for all these denominations to get along. That's what freedom from religion is really about, or freedom of religion in America and separation of church and state. It was really about 13 colonies not wanting to endorse a government that might favor one of the other colonies' religions. So the founders had to sell it to the different colonies as a government that wasn't going to be attached to any one religion. What they meant by religion was which denomination of Protestantism. That's really what they were talking about because it's all they had. There was like a handful of Jews in Brooklyn and like a couple of Catholics, but other than that, it was all Protestants, and they had no reason to assume that someday we would have the pluralism that we have today. So that when the founding documents were put together, that's what it was really about. It was meant to sell the new government to skeptical colonists who were like, well, we don't want to vote for the new government if it's going to favor Massachusetts religion over Virginia's religion. So in that way, Christianity has impacted politics, right from the get go in this country. Uh, what are my thoughts on Norse paganism? I love it. I love the imagery. I love the attachment to nature. I don't know a ton about it, but I'm really happy that it's making a comeback. Uh, uh, the hub. What's up, man? How you been? You doing all right? Atheist hub. Back after some time off. Why do chipmunks keep attacking my coleus plants? Plant something else. If you got chipmunks and you don't want them to eat coleus, then don't plant coleus. That's my advice to you there. Thanks for asking. Um, they are the quiverful faith. Weird. Couple more minutes for you people, and I appreciate y'all being here. La Virgen de Guadalupe. What about it? Danbury, the Danbury Baptist. That's right. Now you remember your history lessons, don't you? Thor is our savior because we are northern, but Iputa is the savior of the American. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, there was a time when every religion was accepted by the other religions as real enough for their adherents. If you believed in your God from your country, then that's where you were going to go when you died, and that was valid. That was accepted. Christian universalism is new, and one of the for better or worse, mostly worse. That was fairly new in religion. The idea that Christ came for everybody, and it didn't matter if you belonged to a different religion; those religions were not valid. But the good news is that Jesus was also there for you, and that gave rise to the evangelical mission to go and spread the good news of Jesus because he came for everybody. Whereas before that, somebody in Rome might be like, "Oh, you came from Germania or Gaul, and you had your pagan gods, and those are the gods. And when you died, they would help you, adhere to that tradition. If you were, say, a slave or just a friend of somebody who, was of a different religion. It's like your religion was valid for you, and mine's valid for me, and that's something that we've lost. I think there's a tolerance there that is kind of romantic that we've lost um, in this age of political identity and Christian exceptionalism and Christian universalism. So, um, thanks for that, though. People who talk too much usually have nothing to say. Yes, prime example right here. I can't even stop talking. But I'm gonna now. Yeah, I speak Spanish. You didn't know that? Did I just say something in Spanish? Pero sí, no, es que yo me enseñé español en la calle trabajando con puro mexicano. Tengo como 25, 30 años aprendiendo y diario aprendo más, pero no hay nada que no puedo decir. Me puedo expresarme en cualquier manera in Espanol. I was probably thinking about doing a Spanish TikTok. I saw Spanish TikTok was trending a while back, and I didn't get a chance to do a video in Spanish, but I'll probably get that on at some point. It makes sense, because I want the people to know que nuestros amigos latinos estamos aquí disponibles para ustedes también. Yo entiendo que es muy difícil para ser ateo en su cultura, pero aquí estamos nosotros para apoyarse. And anything you need, I'll do for you if I can. Um, all right, cool. Do you speak Spanish? I got to remember to do that. I'll absolutely do that. I want to learn to eventually educate my community to speak Spanish. The fun thing is Spanish is really easy. It's a really simplistic language, the way it's formed and the way it's pronounced. So even get your mouth around Spanish sounds. Um, the, the actual grammar is fairly simplistic. And it's not a slam, it's just a way of me explaining it. It's not as easy uh, to learn Finnish or Chinese, Mandarin or Arabic as it is Spanish, being one of the Romance languages. So in my mind, when I see Spanish, I can see French, I can see Italian. It's all in Portuguese. It's all so very similar. And I came up learning German in school, so I speak German um, conversantly. There's nobody to speak German with, so I've lost a lot of my ability. But the background I have learning another language let me teach myself Spanish by listening and asking questions of guys with sixth grade educations, and I basically taught myself Spanish from nothing on up. Um, am I afraid of death? I'm afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of death. Uh, can you explain why those that believe that the best thing that life after death is the better? What? I don't I don't get that. How did me and my girlfriend meet? On Tinder? Can you even believe that at my age? I went on Tinder looking for dirty sex. I found love, right? Uh, and most people, it's the other way around. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, Spanish is your first language. Awesome. Let me see. I'm looking at. Is that two pictures of you on the? That's a smoking profile pic, Gigia. Um, are they both you? That's weird. No atheism. Also, I can make Spanish videos. Bro, I just saw Bob Larson's live on my For You page, like whacked out exorcist Bob Larson. I don't know who that is. He's a wacky exorcist. Um, no, don't know who that is. Mhm. All right. 10 o'clock. I'm going to go in and eat something. It's time for me to go to bed. My eyes are starting to flag. Appreciate all of you people. Favorite fact to tell Christians? Don't get me started, my friend. Favorite fact to tell Christians that their religion is not original and it's based on earlier myths. I love bringing that up. How do you think that your religion is real when it's not even original and it's based on older myths? Um, I always get them with that one. Oh, someone is that Foreigner? The lie is over. What is that? Is that Foreigner or is that one of those bands? Anyway, I got a blast. Check us out on YouTube. I do have a Patreon that makes a few bucks for the podcast. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can look for Atheist Underground. I would really appreciate it to help you get the podcast out faster. And find us on the tube. Find us on Instagram. There was a scandal with Facebook and Instagram. You guys see that? I went down. We'll talk about that more maybe next time. And you can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, and go to cafepress.com, Atheist Underground Gear for merch. I got the Praise the Lord shirt on tonight, but you can get the What's Missing t-shirt right now. There's not a lot of stuff on there, but you can get that cool t-shirt on there. So go for it, and we will have more merch on there soon. Love you all. I will see you Sunday, if not before. Take care. Um, and thanks for being here. I'm going to blast off on the tubes too. Appreciate you, Dina. I'll see you next time, my friend. Bye, peeps.